You know, the polls are all rigged. Of course, lately they haven't been rigged because I'm winning by so much. I don't want to say it. Disregard that statement. I love the polls very much. We're beating him by so much.
There you have it. Saying it out loud, former President Donald Trump, who claimed that the polls were rigged in Georgia, a swing state that he lost in 2020, now notices that he's doing real well in the polls in Georgia. No longer rigged. No longer rigged. Miraculously, everything has been fixed.
Unrigged. The Kraken went back into the box. The mules went back home. Everything's fine now that he's leading.
Shameless. Like, that's the thing about him. He's so shameless. Okay, so this was during his Get Out the Vote rally in Rome, Georgia. It happened over the weekend on Saturday. He alternated between saying the 2020 results were rigged, and then he applauded his current lead in the polls. Remember, in Fulton County, Georgia, that's where Trump and 18 other defendants were charged with a conspiracy to try to overturn the 2020 presidential election. And despite repeatedly failing to prove that there was voter fraud taking place in the state, Trump and his allies still push the lie that 2020 was stolen from him. And then at a recent rally in North Carolina, he also claimed that 82% of Americans think the 2020 election was rigged, which is not true. 82% of the country does not think that.
I mean, look, guys, so one of the parts of this story that I'm amazed by is like MAGA, you know he's lying, right?
I think they do at this point.
I think they do.
You have to know at this point.
Yeah. Like they don't, even MAGA doesn't think 82% of the country thought that the election was stolen. I think. Right, so but that leads to the interesting phenomenon that we're going to discuss here. Like, I think that what MAGA is saying is, look, we get it. The guy's a showman, and maybe even a little bit of a clown, right?
No, I've said this and people get really mad at me because I'm supposed to hate Trump and only say negative things about him. But no, I'm gonna be truthful. He's hilarious. I think he's super funny. If he weren't running for political office, and instead decided, you know what, I'm an entertainer and I'm gonna tour the country, maybe the world as a comedian, I would pay to see him.
Yeah, I mean, look at that statement right there. I wouldn't go that far, but look at that statement right there. Like, the polls, they're rigged. Oh, they got me up now. I love the polls.
Not rigged, not rigged.
I mean, it's kind of funny, right?
Smoothest running election in the country.
Yeah, so now what does honesty actually look like? So Donald Trump came nowhere near winning the elections last time. In terms of the popular vote, he lost by over 7 million votes. Funny enough, in the Electoral College, he did come close.
Yeah, in some of the swing states, he did come close.
In 3 swing states, he only lost by 43,000 votes. But he definitively lost.
I mean, look at this guy, Cenk.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. How could you not laugh?
I mean, he's like, he doesn't even mean to be funny like 89% of the time. He's just a goofball, right? So anyways, so he didn't win at all, and the Republicans in Georgia, Arizona, etc., recounted 18 different times. It's hyperbole, but not by much. They hand recounted, they double checked because they wanted Trump to win. They desperately wanted Trump to win, but he didn't. On the other hand, he is definitely leading now, and he's leading by a lot. Now the Democrats are the ones going, oh, I don't believe in polls or numbers or data or scientists. You know, science is never right. Okay, so I hate to break your heart if you're a Democrat, but you're sounding like MAGA now. So the reality is, in the latest New York Times Siena poll, which is right around where he is generally, and he has been for the last several dozen polls, he's up by 4. And remember, the Democrat has to win by 5 in order to win the Electoral College. Biden won it by 4.5 and barely squeaked out an Electoral College victory. So that means that Biden is in effect down by 9. So that's why Trump's like, I like the polls are good now. And the reality is the polls didn't change. Now Biden's losing, so now he says, and he literally said it the other day. He was getting into the helicopter and they asked him about it, he said, I'm winning in all the polls. Now he's turned into Donald Trump.
Wait, Biden said that?
Yeah, he said, "Oh,
Biden.
You guys aren't being fair.
Oh
Read
my
the polls."
God, what a disaster.
Guys, you have to understand, people in power, whether it's Biden or Trump, are surrounded by sycophants.
Oh my God, get them out. Get them out.
I know.
Get them out.
So they're all telling him what he wants to believe. So they're telling him, "Oh, Joe, you got this, brother. You got this. You're winning. You're winning in the last 5 polls." That's not true. He's not winning in any of the recent polls.
No.
I mean, you might have to go back 30, 40 polls to find a poll where Joe Biden was leading.
He's been sliding down them.
Yes, and so, but he is now saying, "I'm winning." So the objective reality doesn't care about your politics and what you want to happen. If you ignore objective reality, you do it at your own peril. As the Trump people found out last time, and I'm worried the Biden people are gonna find out this time.
And Cenk, you mentioned one of the polls, the Time Siena College poll. We've got other polls that I want to share with you, including this. According to the Hill Decision Desk HQ, Trump leads President Biden on a national level. He currently has 46.1% support, while Biden has 44.6% support, which honestly, like the national polling, I'm less interested in. I'm more interested in how they're performing in the swing states, because we don't determine who the winner is based on the popular vote. We determine the winner based on the Electoral College. So let's read the rest of that, where, for instance, in Georgia, one of the key swing states that helped elect Biden back in 2020, Trump has an even larger lead. Trump has 48.4% support in that state, compared with 41% for Biden.
Yeah, so guys, this is a super important clarification, and that mainstream media almost never does, which is if you're seeing a nationwide poll, you have to add 5 points to it, as I just explained to you, for Trump. But at the state level, you don't need to add the 5 points. The Democrats are not in a 5-point hole in Georgia to begin with. They're in a 5-point hole nationwide because of the way the Electoral College is structured. So all the votes in the world in California don't really matter, right? You just have to win the state by 1. Winning it by 3 million doesn't really help you in the Electoral College. So, but when you see a state poll, that's where it matters. So if Biden is tied in the state, that means he's actually tied, okay? But he isn't. He's down in every single swing state. And in Georgia, you see him down by 7. Remember, we won Georgia. Democrats won Georgia in not only in 2020, but the 2 Senate races as well.
The runoff races, yeah.
Yeah, so he's taken a substantial advantage for the Democrats, and he's turned it into a substantial disadvantage.
I heard that he's winning, Cenk.
And that's why Biden says he doesn't believe in polls anymore. And now all of a sudden, Donald Trump believes in polls.
What are we gonna do with these guys? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. I never have dreams, but I had a dream last night that Biden won.
Huh.
It made no sense.
Yeah, look, man, I hate Biden on. Oh no, they took away the super chat. Oh, hold on, don't take away Lila's comment or Laila's. There's so many things I'm upset about Biden on, and most importantly Gaza. But Trump is a disaster in every way, shape, and form. And he even said about Gaza, like they should just finish them, right? So that is even worse than Biden. So if the election were held today, the general election, it's a no-brainer. You vote against Trump, okay? And so that sucks, but that doesn't solve the problem for the Democratic Party. And so is it possible that Biden could win? It's possible, and why is it possible? Because of Trump. Trump is his own worst enemy. And so as he keeps, like he's gonna go to these cases, and instead of proving that he won the election, which is of course impossible and he has no evidence of, he's gonna keep punching himself in the face.
Yeah.
So, but it's not a high chance, guys, because when you look at the underlying demos and numbers in the polling, it's a much worse situation. Biden is so badly down in those demos that recovering is gonna take Trump like not just punching himself in the face, but jumping off a cliff. And it's not impossible because the guy's a moron, but that's not what we should be relying on.